From the Figure 4 Online Studios in beautiful Bothell, Washington, exclusively at WrestlingObserver.com, you're listening to the Bryan and Vinny Show with your hosts, Bryan Alvarez and Big Vinny V.
All right, everybody, it's the Bryan and Vinny Show here. It is November 24, 2019, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. We got Survivor Series to talk about here tonight. Vince has not watched NXT TakeOver yet, so no TakeOver. And it's Sunday, so Granny is going to join us as always. And I think the last time we did this, we actually reviewed the show first and then went to Granny. But quite frankly, that's just weird. If you don't want to hear Granny, just fast forward to the end. We're going to do Granny first, then we're going to review the show. Got it?
Word.
Yeah. Vinny's barely here. You still haven't caught up yet?
Time jet lag stuff?
Yeah.
Actually, no, I have not yet caught up on all my sleep. But, yes, it's already been quite a night for those of you. Well, if you're not in this room, you don't know our conversation with Granny. But we called her to connect, and we could not hear her because she was drowned out by the booming voice of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes.
On her monitor.
Yes.
And she was very upset. We interrupted her watching The Undertaker, which she said was, I believe, her favorite thing in wrestling all week.
Is that right, Granny?
That's right. The rest of it was all garbage.
So you're watching Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker?
Yep.
What has he said so far?
Oh, how he got to be Undertaker. He was going to be the egg. And
It's going to be the egg.
yeah, he was going to be the egg. And Vince called him and said, "Are you the Undertaker?" And he said, "Oh, yeah." So that's where it started.
Apparently I'm going to need to watch this show, because
I can't explain this, actually.
was he going to be the gobbledygooker?
He was worried. He
Okay.
saw the big egg and thought it was going to be for him.
Okay, all right. But he wasn't the egg.
He was the Undertaker instead.
Thank God.
That worked out better, probably.
That worked out better for The Undertaker that he was not the egg, Granny.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. All right. Well, what do we have on the Facebook today, Vinny? And then Granny, I'm sure, has got a lot of wrestling to talk about.
Lots of nice stuff on my page.
So I
today.
load up Granny F4W, and for today, where she puts what she wants people to do, ask questions, or have a contest idea, whatever. First of all, the graphic, there's white letters on an orange background and balls of fire everywhere.
Wow.
And in all capital letters, she writes, "Ask questions, write poems, or whatever." Tilde, tilde, bang, 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 bang.
Wow.
And I put commas in, too.
Yes,
Oh, good.
it did.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Now we understand what you're trying to say.
Let's begin then.
Well, let's begin, Vinny.
Matt Loveridge, a top fan. Good day to you, Bryan, Vinny, and Granny.
Good day to you, Matt.
If any of you have a service like Netflix or Amazon Prime, what is your favorite show on said service?
Well, I have all of these services, and I don't watch anything on them.
I don't think I have any of them.
I've been watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia from the beginning on Hulu, on the elliptical at the gym. So I guess that'd be my favorite right there then.
How about Instagram?
How about it, Granny? Do you have a favorite on Instagram?
Well, Wayne wanted me to get on it.
Wayne, crazy Wayne.
Wayne wants you on Instagram?
He just got on it, and so I said, I don't want to get on it. I'm having enough trouble with Facebook.
You know, my mom has Snapchat.
All right.
I am not going to be getting a Snapchat. But my mom has it, and she has Paisley play around with it. So then Whitney had to get Snapchat. Because Paisley loves to
The
look
video
at
editor?
the different
The
ears and whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's like a whole bunch of different things that you can do. And one of them is you make yourself look like a man if you're a woman.
All right.
Okay. So the funny thing was I did it to myself. I want to see, what would I look like if I were a man?
Right.
It's exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
They just widened my jaw very slightly.
I see.
But otherwise, it looked exactly like me because I am a man. You know what I'm saying? So Paisley puts this, what would I look like if I were a man, Snapchat on herself. I swear to God, I have not gotten permission to post this from my wife yet. But when Paisley manified herself, as God is my witness, and I'll show you, Vinny, she looks exactly like Hornswoggle.
Oh. That's not where I thought you were going.
It is uncanny. I'll send it to you actually right now. I can't put this on the air.
I also don't have Snapchat.
So there you go. All right, go ahead so I can keep going, Vinny. I'm trying to do something here.
Seth Binderup. Dear Granny, if you had the choice of Filthy Tom or Lance, who would you have escort you to your high school prom?
Both of them.
You can't answer that, Granny. Come on.
No, I like Granny.
Both of them.
It takes two.
I never got to do that, so if I ever got to now, I'd have them both and change some of the stuff. Have two guys instead of one.
That's a very good call, Granny. Brian, your daughter is Hornswoggle.
Was I wrong? It's uncanny.
With better skin, because she's 3.
Yes.
Send it to me, Brian.
All right. That's like I sent it to everybody. I'm sending it to Rob right now.
Are
If I
you
send it to you, Granny, you're going to put it on your Facebook.
I will.
Well, I don't want that.
Oh, okay. I won't then if you don't want me to.
Skylar King says, I'm going to go with whatever and simply say, Granny, I hope you're having a fantastic day.
Oh, how nice.
Aren't you going to
nice.
read any of the poems?
Granny, can you give us some chance, Granny? What's the hurry?
I don't
We're
know.
going through all of this. Rob's crying with laughter over here.
There's so many cute ones.
Was I wrong, Rob?
You are not wrong on the slightest.
It's a spitting image.
Spitting image, absolutely.
Yes. Rob almost bit the top off that microphone right there.
Granny, I skipped up about...
Granny, every week.
I should. That's my brother.
What?
It's my brother, but I just shut him off.
Would you like us to call you back later, Granny? You could talk to your
No.
brother and watch The Undertaker. Okay.
If he calls again, I'll just tell him I'm busy.
All right. Go ahead,
Okay.
Vinny. Got it.
I skipped up about 20 comments and found a poem. Should I read a poem to make her happy?
Yes, Vinny. Please.
Ryan Dunch. Brian sat in his chair. There was magic in the air.
Half right.
For Thursday is Thanksgiving, and so much to keep him living. As he reflected, beginning to end, thought of Granny, his family, his friends. He cleared his throat, tried not to gloat. He already has a figurative gold boat.
Wow. Nice poem.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Okay, can we go back to just reading them in order now, Granny?
Okay.
Okay.
Tapio Forsberg wants to know, what is your cure for depression?
Oh, don't even read this one. Next.
Toby Travalos asks, do you think
Are you
Brian...
kidding me? Are you out of your mind, Vinny? Jiminy
Sometimes
Christmas.
I don't think too much.
Exactly.
Toby Travalo says, do you think Brian should give me a shirt for my holiday Undertaker poem idea?
What kind of shirt? I don't have any shirts here except ones I wear. You have to get those off the
You
T-shirt
could probably
store.
spare one. You've got a million.
Didn't you just say you don't have any?
I did, but she doesn't listen. Go ahead, Vinny. Next one.
Moses Marquez says, Granny, are you a Star Wars fan at all?
No.
Why not? You took me to that movie about 65 times when I was a kid. Remember that?
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Are you kidding me? You know how many times I went to Star Wars?
I don't think I took you.
Well, somebody did. It was actually
I
The
don't-
Empire Strikes Back. I was 6.
I don't remember going to a movie with you at all.
Ever?
I do with Nikki, but I don't with you.
Find that hard to believe. I'll ask my mom.
Taylor Cirillo wants to know, have you ever bought anything on Amazon? And if so, what was it?
I'm their best customer.
I'm highly skeptical that you're their best customer. But what do you buy off Amazon?
Oh, everything, household stuff, everything.
Everything.
Yeah,
Salt.
Sure, yeah.
vitamins,
you go.
all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Lewis Brown says, hi, Granny.
What's the weirdest thing you ever got off Amazon, Granny? What's the weirdest thing that you ever thought, you know what, I bet I could get that on Amazon?
Oh, gosh, I can't remember. Mouse traps.
That is a good answer.
That is an excellent answer.
Did they work?
Oh, yeah,
cool.
definitely.
We have all of this track lighting here in this house, and these bulbs burn out like every 3 days. I always have to go down to the Safeway and get new bulbs.
Brian,
And I always think, why don't I just get them through Amazon? But I just feel like they'd surely show up broken. You know what I'm saying?
I did one time. I got some bulbs and for over my desk, and they were broke, and I took them down
See?
to Home Depot, and they replaced them for me.
So you ordered bulbs off Amazon. They showed up broken, and you took them to Home Depot, and they replaced them?
They replaced them.
Wow.
That's probably where they came from, see?
Oh. Must be nice to be old.
I think there was a note or something. There might have been a note in it or something, to take them. Otherwise, I would have never known to do it. But I think there was a note there that said, if they're broken, take them down to Home Depot.
How about that?
Yeah, good deal.
All righty. What's next?
Lewis Brown wants to know if any wrestler could be a character in Days of Our Lives, who would you put into the show and why?
I would put Undertaker in to take care of Phyllis.
To take care of Phyllis.
Take care of Phyllis. Wow.
She's a bad one.
I figured you'd say that you'd put Umberto Carrillo and his dimples on the show.
Ooh.
Your buddy on 205 Live with the dimples.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
I forgot all about him.
Wow.
He's not important.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know Phyllis from Days of Our Lives, but you type in Phyllis Days of Our Lives, and you get a woman smirking over and over again.
No. It's Young and the Restless.
Oh.
You dummy.
All I did was do what we were talking about. What a fool I am.
Yes. Smart enough.
What did they ask?
They asked about Days of Our Lives, Granny.
Oh. Okay. Then I don't know because I don't watch it. I thought they said my soaps.
You don't think The Undertaker would fit on any soap opera?
Only this one, Vinny.
The only one I watch.
None of the others matter. They're not important.
Not important. I don't want him on any other.
Thomas Brunette wants to know if you have a favorite Thanksgiving memory.
Yeah, when I was a kid in Montana and we had tomato soup for Thanksgiving.
Good impression, everyone.
That is your favorite memory of Thanksgiving when you were a kid and had tomato soup?
Just a memory of Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Well, that
Because
is...
now everything's the same every year. Nothing's, all the same.
Nothing's exotic like tomato soup?
Yeah, everything's...
Wow. I'll make sure we have tomato soup this year, Granny.
I can't drink it. Eat it.
Why can you not eat tomato soup?
Something in my diet. I can't take tomatoes.
All right. Mike Westbrook's a top fan. Granny, do you have any secret construction projects underway or planned for 2019/2020?
Yes, and I'm very sad. Because you know how they wrecked up my front yard? I've got all kinds of cute plans to fix it up, but in the spring I'm going to sell. And so it's not going to... I'm going to still do it, but it's not going to be so
You're
much
still claiming you're
fun.
going to sell your house in the spring, move into
Yes,
an
sir.
old folks' home?
Yeah.
Joe Curtis Rendell. Hey, Granny, how do I get out of the doghouse?
Don't get in it in the first place.
Excellent answer, Granny. Excellent.
Joe, we've been
That
very
was
helpful.
he was racked with guilt right there.
Hope we've solved
It's your
problem.
fault that you're in the doghouse.
And now you must just suffer. There is no escape.
You
I don't
shouldn't have
think
done
there
whatever
is.
you did in the first place, Joe.
That's right.
So if he is in the doghouse, Granny, how might he get out once he's in there?
Oh, lots of flowers, lots of sorries, and that's about all I can say.
You know, Brian, I was once in the doghouse with my girlfriend at the time, and this is a true story. I knocked on her door, I was standing there with flowers, and I said, I know you're mad at me, and I don't know why, but I got you flowers. It worked. She was not mad at me anymore.
Wow. Did
So-
she ever tell you why?
I don't think she did.
So you may have just done it again later. That's why she...
I may have done it again later, or it may have just been a ruse to get flowers.
I see. She couldn't just say, will you bring me some flowers?
No, had to. I can only tell you.
High school.
I can only tell you that it worked. Chris Aiken, a top fan. With Thanksgiving approaching, what are you thankful for? Flowers.
Oh, I'm thankful for everything, for being alive, for having all my good friends and relatives.
and tomato soup.
And
She can't eat it, Vinny.
All right.
And no tomato soup.
And no tomato soup.
Should be thankful for your great memory. Unlike
That's-
Vinny.
Yes, that's one good thing right there. One of the girls at bingo had a car accident, and she wasn't very bad. Nobody got hurt, but just gets you to thinking.
We moved
It
away
sure
from
does.
memory. We moved away from memory to just being thankful again.
Preet Paul says, Undertaker, Days of Our Lives, or Wendy's. You can only keep 2 in your life. Which one rests in peace?
Oh, she gets rid of Wendy's.
No, Days of Our Lives. She already said she doesn't watch
Oh,
it.
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, Days of Our Lives goes.
But I mean, if it were your favorite soap, you'd be getting rid of Wendy's, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of places to get a burger, Vinny.
Gee, and I've only gone to Wendy's once since my birthday.
All those gift cards and you've gone one time?
I haven't had a chance to go.
She's very busy.
We have another poem. And this is a winner. Joe Weaver. Granny is no vegetarian. In fact, in the groceries she's carrying, you'll find lots of meat. It's her favorite treat, and it's made her a nonagenarian.
Wow. That's actually very good.
That's fantastic.
All right, let's end on that
I'm
one.
going to click like.
Let's end on a good one here.
I like that, and he's right.
He is right. You are
Meat.
a nonagenarian.
Has made you a nonagenarian.
All right. Hey, let's get going here, Granny. What do we got for the wrestling report?
Oh, are we doing that already?
Granny, we've been on 16 minutes so far.
Oh, it's so confusing here. I got so much junk I don't even know
Well,
where.
we sure better get started then.
Anyway, let's see. What am I going to start on? I am really confused. Okay, here we go.
They've done an excellent job this weekend, I see.
Okay, I watched SmackDown. And
I don't think that's the official title.
and this was like all girls brawl. And what I really liked about it was I told you before that my television, everybody looks fat. I was having so much fun. It's just sitting there laughing like crazy because especially Nikki Cross. She just looked like a real blubberbutt. And
The opinions of Granny at F4W Online do not represent the staff or management. Thank you very much.
We should reiterate she's not a blubberbutt, but Granny's TV stretches everyone out. So she looks like a blubberbutt. That's what you're saying, Granny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and through the whole thing, everybody was breaking up everybody's counts. And, let's see. Somebody did a figure 8 on Charlotte. Shazza Ripley won.
Shazza Ripley.
No. Wait a minute. Sasha won.
No, Rhea Ripley won, Granny.
Oh, okay.
And it was awesome, by the way.
Oh, I see. Charlotte did a figure 8 on Sasha.
Yes.
And I didn't put my comma in there.
See?
Commas
Yeah.
are important.
Commas are very important, Granny.
So
Very
Ripley,
critical role in our society.
Ripley won.
I like Lipri.
Okay, I give that a 4.
All right.
Okay, and then they had Nakamura come in. They gave him a new belt.
Yep.
And something about four guys come out. Something system. Anyway, okay. Then it was Bryan and Biz.
Undisputed Era, that's their song.
I'm sorry, Brian and who?
Biz.
That's what I thought.
You,
Okay.
you know, I'm telling you, this week's going to be weird because I got so many notes I don't know where I'm at.
Dude, I just finished watching all the shows. I don't know where I'm at.
I watched 3 of them.
Yeah, so did I.
So
I'm confused too, Granny. And I'm not a nonagenarian.
Bryan and Biz, head kick by Bryan, goes dark, big changes to make. What?
What?
Wyatt just lit on them right in the middle of commercials. More came back. See what I'm saying? It's not making sense.
Just keep
No.
going, Granny.
No,
Just
it's
read.
not.
I kind of know where you're at, actually, believe it or not. I might be able to translate this.
Reigns, Corbin, Ziggler, Rose
Okay, we're now in a totally different match.
knocked him down, lay next to him. Corbin wins. Another free-for-all.
Okay, so for those of you that have no idea what's going on,
This is Friday Night SmackDown.
Biz and Bryan had a match, and Wyatt ran in.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then there was a multi-person match at the end that did not involve Bray Wyatt, Daniel Bryan, or The Biz. And in Chicago, the most over guy in the match, Mustafa Ali, was pinned by Baron Corbin. Okay. We got it.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
That didn't even sound familiar.
Honestly, I'd forgotten about it till you reminded me.
Oh, no.
Then I remembered every stupid thing about that show.
Oh, let's see. I had NXT. Okay, Matt Riddle and Baller. Is it Baylor?
Balor.
Balor.
Yes,
Okay.
This is TakeOver.
Okay, same old thing. Chin locks, face slaps, knocks in the corner, and a whole bit, and a bunch of backdrops. They do that so much, I don't know how those people can stand it. Anyway, Balor wins that one. I gave it a 4.
A 4.
For Matt Riddle and Finn Balor.
A 4. Okay. Everyone is entitled to their wrong opinion.
Okay, then this one says War Games.
That's correct.
Dunn versus Cole. It's triple match. Upside down.
Very confused.
Upside down, Dunn Priest.
Well, that sounds like a punchline right there.
Okay, so this is
Upside down, Dunn Priest.
this is
What?
Dane versus Priest versus Dunn in a 3-way where the winner gets Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they block each other's counts. Okay, let's see. Something turnbuckle. Cole comes back. All 3 on turnbuckle. Dunn jumps on a count. Dunn finally pins Priest. So Dunn wins it.
Yes.
I give that a 6.
A 6. Wow.
Just for fun. Oh,
What fun that was.
now I got a list here that I
It was good. It was just too long.
Okay.
I didn't watch it, so I got
See, I got punches and knee kicks. Baszler hanging on the rope, 3-way smash.
We don't even know what match this is, Granny. Do you have any idea who?
Baszler and Bailey.
Baszler and Bailey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Top rope. Baszler falls. Much punishment
Baszler.
going.
Was this from SmackDown?
Baszler and Bailey.
I know. Was this match on SmackDown, or when was this match? Are you talking about the main event of the show we just watched?
No, because that was a 3-way that we just watched. Much punishment going on. Table throwing.
I agree.
And then on this one, somebody came in. I think Baszler came. Was it? Somebody came in and broke up the whole thing, so I didn't know who won between Baszler and Bailey. Some girl come in and broke it all up and took the belt.
I mean, I don't even know what match you're talking about or where it was. I'm flabbergasted.
But there was much punishment going
There
on.
was much punishment in Baszler versus Bailey, and someone else came in and took the belt?
Yeah. I think that was the one. Anyway, here's the first part of it.
I've been flummoxed.
Here is the first part of it.
Oh,
We started
thank
with
you.
the end. Now we're going back.
Thank you. All right.
Bailey, Becky, and Baszler.
Okay, so the main event of the show we just watched.
I called it the 3 Bs.
Yeah, it is.
Clever.
Yeah. Super backdrops.
Oh.
Bending arms. Turnbuckle jumping on Bailey. Becky clothesline. Kicks all over Bailey's head. But on Becky's midsection, pushed Bailey's face into the mat. And then the rest was before. I did it backwards.
I see that. What was the score?
Okay. I'll give that a 4. Okay,
Just making it
then
up.
I went to the store, so I didn't get to watch any of this until I got home. And guess where I walked into? Lesnar and
Oh, my God, you were at the store forever.
well, I left late.
You sent me a message when you left. I think you were at the store for 4 hours.
No, I left at 2.
You left at 2. The Lesnar match started at 6:30.
Oh, I got back at no.
Yes.
Oh, I must have put groceries away or something. I don't know. But anyway, and oh no, this was I came home and I took a nap. That's what it was.
Okay.
When I woke up from the nap, so what I've got here is nothing to wake up for. And so it was Lesnar and Mysterio, and that poor guy got the beating of his life. And I just don't like Lesnar at all. And so the kid comes out, was his dad, right?
Yes, the masked fellow is his father.
Well,
And-
yes.
So he begs Lesnar to stop beating up on his dad. So what does Lesnar do but turn around and beat up on him? Should be ashamed of himself. And they just have a really free-for-all. And for a while, the two of them kind of beat up on Lesnar, but he comes back and pins poor Mysterio.
Man, that's terrible.
Guess what I gave that one?
Let me guess, a 1.
Well, I gave it a 3. That's about the best it'll get. And I take the one back with Baszler. I only want to give that a 2 because I don't like her. She beats up on everybody. So
God forbid someone beat up on everybody in wrestling.
I know. I just can't take it. Okay, now I have a little bit of what we had last week. 2020 predictions.
Oh, thank God, more.
I just only have a few, though.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia cancellations.
Well, they just announced a new deal, so.
Yeah, not likely.
NXT struggles.
Not after tonight.
The Revivals walk away.
I forget when their contract is up, but they probably will walk away.
Stranger things have happened, yeah.
The UK worry.
The UK worry?
Yeah.
I'd imagine people in the United Kingdom will worry about something at some
Sure,
point.
there's a lot to worry about, but can we be more specific?
That's all I got there.
All right,
The
an excellent
UK
final
worry.
prediction. The UK worry.
Am I done?
You're done if you want to, Granny. That's our time.
Okay, I want to know if I'm done with my time. I've got something else here, but I can.
Now, you can do it, Granny. You can do it.
It's 10 most devastating moves of The Undertaker.
He has 10 moves.
Rapid corner punches, running DDT, taking care of business, suicide dive.
What's the taking care of business?
I don't know.
Okay.
Smoke eyes,
Smoke eyes?
snake eyes,
Snake eyes.
That makes more sense.
apron leg drop, and the last side. That's,
The last side.
yeah.
The last ride.
Okay, in Hell's Gate,
Hell's Gate, yes.
chokeslam,
Yeah.
tombstone,
Yes.
and pile driver.
Well, that about covers it. He does have 10 moves.
The
Yeah.
taking care of business appears to be a dragon
Okay.
sleeper.
Now, get out of my sight so I can go listen to Undertaker.
Okay, go listen to Undertaker, Granny.
can't
I expect
see
a
us.
full report next week.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Start taking
Okay.
notes now.
Okay,
I
later.
want to know more about the egg.
Okay,
All right, bye-bye.
bye.
She was itching to get out of here.
She's got Taker to watch.
All right, stand by. All right, well, we're back here. Rob apparently has something goofy he wants to do, but I think we're going to wait until Tuesday. Why don't you explain it to everybody, Rob? To all the boomers.
All the boomers, yes. So I have here this chip. It is the Packy One Chip Challenge. It is basically you eat one tortilla chip, which is covered with powdered Carolina Reaper pepper, which is one of the hottest peppers in the world.
I don't know if I want to be in the room when you open them.
I warned him if he vomits on anything, he's fired.
Oh, let's go.
Wow!
I'm sorry.
Thanks, Vinny.
Big move on my part.
Okay, so then what? You eat the pepper.
And then hilarity ensues.
That's it? You just eat it?
We watch him suffer.
Yes, basically.
Wow. Do you see what is right directly in front of you, Rob? Do you see everything that's in front of you?
Yes.
Monitor, keyboard, mouse.
Have you eaten one of these yet?
I have not had one of these yet.
You haven't had one of these yet.
But I do have a proclivity for hot sauces, and I've been eating.
A proclivity.
Yes.
A fine word.
Thank you.
Fine word.
So, what's happening on Tuesday with this fantasy football? Like, is there a chance he'll be humiliated again?
Well, here's the funny story about that. Something has gone wrong with my ESPN account.
Yes.
I cannot log in, nor can I reset my password.
Really?
So I've sent them an email, but I have no idea what is up with fantasy football right now.
Well, Rob, why don't you check that out while we start doing Survivor Series? I want to know if there's a chance for you to be humiliated on Tuesday, because then maybe you could be humiliated twice. All right?
You are a giver, Brian.
I am. I'm here for the entertainment of everybody. Besides, once Granny did the top 10 moves of The Undertaker, we just didn't have time for Rob today. All right, you ready to go?
Ironically, Rob did not get to take care of business.
No, he didn't.
WWE.
Trust me, he takes care of business enough, Vinny.
All right. WWE Survivor Series, November 24th, 2019. So, the short review of the show, it was actually fun to watch for a WWE pay-per-view. There was a lot of new, fresh stuff that did not feel like I had seen it 27,000
It was definitely not boring.
It was not boring. It was different.
Hey, listen. Let me tell you something about this show, everybody, okay? This show took place in Chicago mere days after CM Punk returned on WWE Backstage. And there was literally one CM Punk chant that occurred when somebody hit a go-to sleep. So the fact that on a WWE pay-per-view in Chicago, there was no random CM Punk chant, that should tell you that this show wasn't boring.
Solid point.
Although there was one moment during the show where they did chant boring.
Right.
But I couldn't believe they didn't chant for CM Punk.
There were scattered Punk chants. There was one loud one. But
Wasn't it during the GTS? I thought for sure it was.
I just searched through my notes for the word punk, and it came up
Really?
3 times.
Okay, well, I was wrong then, everybody. I apologize.
So, we open with the 5-on-5-on-5 women's Survivor Series match.
Now, you and I did not take a nap, but we did start watching late.
Yes.
And so when you walked in, I believe Charlotte had just been misted by Asuka.
As far as I could tell, yes.
And there was only a couple of minutes left.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, well, we'll just kind of sit here, then we'll watch the whole match later.
Okay.
So when the match was over, I thought, my God, that looked like a fantastic match. Place goes crazy for the finish. I was all excited to watch this. Then I watched it. The finish was great.
Yes.
It was not boring, but it really was not all that good. And some people looked very bad. But we can get into that.
So it is Team Raw of Sasha Banks and Dana Brooke and Carmella. Oh, sorry, Team SmackDown of Sasha Banks and Dana Brooke and Carmella and Nikki Cross and Lacey Evans versus Team Raw of Charlotte and Natalya and Asuka and Kairi Sane and Sarah Logan.
Yeah.
Versus Team NXT of Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair and Io Shirai and Candice LeRae and Toni Storm.
Correct.
So they did a lot of wrestling for a while before anyone was eliminated, which is funny for a match where there was going to be 10 to 14 eliminations. As it turned out, there were 14. But for the first 10 minutes,
Kind of.
gray area.
I'm not exactly sure what happened with the NXT women.
So maybe 6 or 7 minutes in, there's a big parade of finisher spot where everyone hits a big move, turns around, gets hit with a big move. And somehow, when the dust settles and the smoke clears, Candice and Io have both been injured. Conveniently,
Yes, they don't actually show us what happened.
no one knows how.
No, they're just down, and the match stops.
Yes.
Which, in hindsight, I liked because a lot of times when they do these injury angles, you see the move that allegedly injured the person, and you realize it's work.
They did not get injured.
Yeah. But we didn't see what happened. There's a wild brawl, there's bodies everywhere, and all of a sudden everybody stops and they're down. So, anything could have happened. was up to our imaginations. And at first, I actually thought they might really be hurt because they totally stopped wrestling. Well, all the people in the black came out to cart them away. Mm-hmm. But I very quickly figured out that they weren't hurt because the Raw and SmackDown teams were inside the ring mocking them and waving goodbye.
Yeah.
Kind of a dead giveaway.
Yes. So now you've got NXT down 2 members. Natural underdogs. They're going to get sympathy. And the match resets, and the captains are all in there. Rhea and Charlotte and Sasha, and the crowd's chanting for Rhea. Rhea, Rhea, Rhea. And so Rhea, of course, backs away from the fight and tags out to ensure there are boos. Because NXT are the heels. Not just Rhea, and who I guess is a heel, and Bianca and Io, but also Candice and Toni Storm. They were supposed to be booed throughout this match. Almost everyone in NXT was supposed to be booed on the show.
I have no idea why.
It is baffling.
As viewers, are we supposed to look at NXT as the bad guys because they're not Raw and SmackDown?
We are supposed to believe they are not on the level of Raw and SmackDown and they don't belong on the show.
Like, in what universe is Candice LeRae a heel?
I don't know.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't think any of the women in there... I guess Bianca Belair was a heel yesterday, but Toni Storm's a babyface, Candice is a babyface, Io Shirai was beloved, although she ended up being carted out, and Rhea Ripley's definitely a babyface.
Yeah.
So, that was weird.
But they're definitely booked here as the heels on the show. So, after 0 eliminations in 10 minutes, we got a few here and there. Do I need to go over all 14 of them in order?
I'll do it.
All right.
Well, first we had actually, early on, we had Io and Kairi brawling and wrestling. Mm-hmm. And, they showed everybody on the show how to do it. There was almost nobody on the show as good as these two outside of Adam Cole and Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle. Who else might have been on this level?
Daniel Bryan.
And Daniel Bryan, yeah, but kind of. I mean, he barely got anything out of The Fiend. But anyway, they were awesome. And they did the deal where they got rid of everybody. And then Bianca rolled up and pinned Nikki with help from Rhea.
Yes.
Carmella gets in there. Dude, I know people are going to say that I'm burying Carmella because Corey Graves is a dick and I'm mad at him today, but she sucks. And I've been saying this forever. Carmella stood out in this match like a sore thumb. Carmella has 3 moves, okay? She has super kicks, which don't look very good. And her other 2 moves are a tilt-a-whirl, where the other person does all of the work, and a Frankensteiner, where the other person does all of the work. That's literally all that she does. So she gets in there, and then Sarah runs wild. Bianca hits her with 450, pins her. Then, what else do we have? Charlotte hits a natural selection on Carmella. Mm-hmm. Kairi...
May I just take over here for a minute?
Yes, go through these things.
Because all I did here was start writing down eliminations. Sasha pins Kairi with Meteora at 18 minutes. Asuka pins Dana with a kick at 18 minutes. Asuka missed her own partner Charlotte at 20 minutes and leaves, and Lacey pins Charlotte with a women's right at 20 minutes. Natty pins Lacey at 21 minutes with a schoolgirl. Natty and Sasha put a double submission to tap out Storm at 22 minutes. Bianca's pinned with a heart attack at 22 minutes, and Sasha punches Natty and pins her at 23 minutes. So that is, if you count Asuka walking out of the match, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 eliminations in 5 minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
And yes, everybody, Asuka walked out. I know people were expecting a lot of count-outs and disqualifications and multiple disqualifications. The only people protected from elimination, if I recall correctly, were Asuka, who walked out, and Braun Strowman, who was counted out.
Yes.
Everybody else was beaten.
Was pinned or submitted.
If they did not win.
Yeah. So, after this flurry of action, we are now down to Sasha and Rhea one-on-one. And they go one-on-one for 4 minutes, and the crowd loves Rhea because she's new and fresh, and they're tired of the same people on top. And then Sasha puts her in the bank statement, and Rhea keeps trying to escape, and Sasha keeps swooping it. And it's good wrestling, and it's fun. And then out come heels, Io Shirai and Candice LeRae. Heels and friends, by the way. Io Shirai and Candice LeRae. They drag Rhea to the ropes. They distract the ref, and one of them interferes, and Rhea, with help from her friends who had lied and faked an injury to get out of this match, come back in to cheat 3-on-1, and Rhea pins Banks with a riptide at 29 minutes to end the match. So Rhea Ripley is your sole survivor, or Rhea and Candice and Io are all still in it. I'm honestly not sure.
I have absolutely no idea what's going on. Like, if they explain this and I didn't hear it, I apologize. But when Io and Candice were carted off, were they eliminated? Because later they came back, and I think it was Lawler, somebody was like, they're back. I was like, well, I guess they weren't were they legal? I don't even know what's going on. So I have no idea if they were eliminated when they walked away or if they were not eliminated when they walked away. Rob thinks he knows the answer. Yes, Rob.
I'm pretty sure that one of the announcers said that they were still technically in the match and they weren't eliminated.
Okay, so then that begs the question.
Why do they need to distract the ref?
No, even more than that. Your plan was for two of them to go backstage when the other teams each had 5 people, so that your team could fight at a severe disadvantage, just so that you could come back later? That's your plan?
Your team's at a severe disadvantage, but then you also have the other teams will then focus on each other, and you keep 2 weapons in reserve, an ace in the hole, 2 aces in the hole here.
I guess. I was confused.
Well, it is confusing.
This was not my favorite Survivor Series match in history.
No, it was much, much, much longer than it needed to be, but the finish was great, and it was definitely something new. So I did not see the War Games show. I have not yet. I'll watch it sometime this week. I don't even know when, but I did see the finish here of Tommaso Ciampa doing a white noise, an air raid crash off the top of the cage through a pair of tables to Adam Cole. That was terrifying.
Michael Cole says, War Games. 2 rings surrounded by this humongous steel structure. I was like, we can't even say cage anymore.
Cage is on the banned list.
We can't say the word cage for War Games. We must say a humongous steel structure. By the way, for those of you wondering, yes, Corey Graves buried Mauro Ranallo on commentary.
On Twitter.
On Twitter, yes. Well, he buried Mauro's commentary, but he did it on Twitter.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen the tweet, because I thought everybody knew the story, but I tweeted it and people didn't know the story. Corey Graves tweeted, just for the record, guys, I know you wouldn't know it, but there's actually a WWE Hall of Famer and a former Ring of Honor champion on commentary. I'd imagine they have a lot to offer. He buried Mauro for talking too much. Corey Graves is burying Mauro Ranallo for commentary.
Yeah.
Corey Graves apparently wants to hear more from Beth Phoenix than Mauro Ranallo.
Yes.
Mauro Ranallo, who, by the way, apparently on Twitter, I didn't see this because he deleted his Twitter, but apparently he had made it public that he was having a very rough weekend with his disorder. He's bipolar. He had mentioned he was having a very tough weekend. And in light of that, Corey Graves had to go on Twitter and bury the guy. And Mauro Ranallo deleted his Twitter and he went home. He was supposed to be on the show, but he wasn't. And later on in the show, they actually claimed that the reason that Mauro Ranallo was not on the show was because he blew his voice out at TakeOver. But fear not, they said, he will be back on Wednesday.
Specifically, Brian, he was so emotional at TakeOver that he blew his voice out.
I see.
Yes.
I see. Well, they said he was going to be back Wednesday. Who knows? Because Hunter yesterday said that he would be back today, and he was not back today. So I guess we'll see.
Seth Rollins, dressed up like one of Santa's little helpers, I guess. This hideous red onesie.
Dude, I'd rather a red onesie than those stupid shirts.
He goes to meet with Kevin Owens and asks him where... he asks him in a way no human being would ever actually communicate with another. After seeing him on Team NXT the night before in War Games, where do your loyalties lie? And Owens explains, last night he only wanted revenge on the Undisputed Era for what they had done to him on Raw. He loves NXT, but NXT does not need him, and Monday Night Raw does. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Roderick Strong. They worked really, really hard. They did a lot of stuff. No one gave a damn.
No.
There were chin locks in a three-way, which I was a little concerned about, curious about why there were chin locks in this three-way. It may have been that may have been one of the reasons this was the first time I noticed the CM Punk chance in the show. The only thing that got any reaction of any kind in this match is when somebody teased a finisher. Because as I've said many times, WWE has encouraged its fans, has educated its fans to only care about finishers. So, they're doing a bunch of near falls, and AJ hits the phenomenal forearm on Nakamura, but Roderick Strong throws him out of the ring and makes a cover, and the ref counts 3. A big win for NXT. He stole the pin, picked the scraps, and stole AJ's victory, and then celebrated like he'd done something. Now, I realize Roderick Strong is a heel, but again, NXT on the show were the heels. And you were taught as a viewer that they did not belong and were not on the same level as Raw and SmackDown and were taking victories they did not deserve.
All I know about this was I was very excited for this match, and there had actually been talk of changing this match. There was talk of having Daniel Bryan beat Nakamura for the Intercontinental title or U.S. title or whatever he's got. I guess Intercontinental title because he got the new belt. He was going to beat Nakamura, and it would have been Bryan, Strong, and AJ. But then they decided to do Daniel Bryan and The Fiend, so Nakamura stayed in the match. One way or the other, I thought, what a great match this is going to be. And what it was every WWE three-way you've ever seen. 2 guys in the ring, 1 guy outside. Guy comes back in, throws somebody out. 2 guys in the ring, 1 outside. It was literally like every single pattern WWE three-way you've ever seen, complete with the guy stealing the finish at the end, stealing the pin. So it wasn't bad, but it was a huge disappointment. I won't even say the words AEW, but if these guys had this match in New Japan or NWA Power or Impact or literally any other promotion on the planet, it would have been much better than this. But it was a WWE three-way with these 3 guys.
The Miz goes to meet with Daniel Bryan. And in hindsight, I'm not even sure. I guess all the shows were in Chicago, so it made sense he was in town. Miz meets with Daniel Bryan and lectures him. You must deal with the Fiend. To get him, I guess, to get the Fiend out of all their hair. And Bryan turns to him and snarls, "Get out of my face." Now, I don't watch SmackDown regularly. I do pay attention to the programs here and there to at least follow the major storylines. I was under the assumption that both The Miz and Daniel Bryan were babyfaces.
Daniel Bryan, I believe, is a heel that is teasing that he will turn babyface. Mm-hmm. But I am not entirely sure.
They both came off like assholes here.
Yes.
Totally unlikable.
Well, The Miz always does.
Point Alvarez. Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole. So in case...
That baby's really sad right now.
In case you thought the worst part of Corey Graves' actions was that he's just a dick, it also meant they took Mauro Ranallo off this match and put Michael Cole in.
Yes.
A loss, this was. So, the sign of a good wrestling match is when 2 guys start and the crowd's not into it, and 10 minutes later, after all the near falls and the action and the big moves, the crowd's going crazy. And that is what happened here because this was a very good wrestling match. It really started to take off when Dunn, who had his knee all taped up after War Games and was selling his knee throughout, he would do things like do a flip or do a big jump and land on his feet and grab his knee but then keep moving. But he goes for a flip out of the corner, and as he is upside down and in midair, Adam Cole super kicks him in the face. And the crowd goes nuts. And it's really cool. The other big spot at the end is Pete Dunne's mouth guard is knocked out. As he's reaching for it, Cole blocks it with his foot, and he grabs Dunne, but Dunne responds just by snapping his fingers, and now it looks like Cole is fucked. But then Dunne grabs him, goes for the bitter end. Adam Cole, I'm still not sure how, but somehow in midair, he turned the bitter end into a Panama Sunrise, the Canadian Destroyer, and followed that with the last shot for the win. This was a hell of a pro wrestling match.
This match was awesome. It was the best thing on the show. The Shinsuke Nakamura, Roderick Strong, AJ Styles match, which I was critical of and called very disappointing. Trust me, I don't care if anybody listening to this liked it. It wasn't bad, like I said, but this crowd was dead for this match. That three-way. Absolutely, positively dead for the match. So Adam Cole and Pete Dunne get in the ring. And, I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles are main roster. Roderick Strong is not. But you had two main roster guys, two main roster stars. One's a champion, one's a former long-term champion. You had none of that with Adam Cole and Pete Dunne.
No.
So the crowd's dead for their match, and they get going, and by the end of this match, they had the fans.
Yeah.
They did what AJ Styles, Roderick Strong, and Shinsuke Nakamura could not do. They took a dead crowd, and they got them into their match at the end. This match was so good. Adam Cole is incredible. Pete Dunne is awesome. They just had such a great match, and I don't know what Granny gave it. I give it a 8.
That sounds about right. Clips of a charity function they did with UNICEF.
Surprised they didn't have a Be a Star one today.
Yeah. King Corbin tried to give Team SmackDown a pep talk. This very simple presentation, which needed 10 seconds to shoot, it was somehow too much for this crew to shoot in a realistic manner. Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend.
God, you should have seen the beginning of SmackDown. Oh, my God. It opens with one of those meetings, just like this, where all of the wrestlers are backstage. And, of course, it's a meeting where, like, everybody's talking at the same time.
Sure.
They're all talking to each other. And, like, in the middle of it, Otis Dozovich is just going in the background because he's crazy.
Sure.
And then Corbin goes up and he's got to give some stupid speech and no one listens. And then Roman has to be the locker room leader. And then Sasha has to be all bitchy, but she's, like, bossing everybody around. I'm like, dude, this is painful. That's how SmackDown opened. And I still made it through the rest of the show.
You're a warrior. Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend for the WWF Championship.
What's the red light's got to go?
So the first portion of this match was hideously dull. First of all, it's all in red lights. So you can't see anything. It hurts your eyes.
So one guy on Twitter who was in the building tweets me a picture. And he said something like, it looks cool here. Visibility is just fine. I'm like, visibility? There's like a viscosity of this red light? Like you thought that it was a mist? Or you thought that it was like water? Like, you might not be able to see the ring with the red light on. What is he talking about? The issue is that the champion is wrestling and there's a red light on. Why? This fucker ain't even a Raw guy anymore. Maybe it should be a blue light. Is it because we're supposed to think that we're in hell? Fucking Michael Cole. This guy sucks. I've said it 1,000 times, but the shit that I had to listen to from this fucking guy today, he keeps calling Bray Wyatt that thing. It.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to convince a 44 fucking year old man that this guy is like a creature. That it's not Bray Wyatt with a fucking mask on. You realize their main audience is over the age of 50?
Yes.
And this guy is calling Bray Wyatt it and thing? I'm like, come on, he's wrestling Daniel Bryan. What are you fucking talking about? It's Bray Wyatt. Like, the storyline isn't even that he's now the Fiend.
Yeah.
The storyline is he's Bray Wyatt, and that's the storyline. He's Bray Wyatt with a mask on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to be an asshole. Fucking Finn Balor said that in his promo.
Yeah.
It's a guy with the mask on, and they're calling him the Thing. Oh, the Thing is back on its feet. I can't believe it. I'm like, he took a fucking knee. Why can you believe that he's back on his feet again? It's just so stupid. In the red light, it's just bad. Yes, Rob? You're itching to say something.
You forgot the best one. Ogre.
I wrote it down on somewhere here. Oh, here it is. He says, this ogre now ruling the earth on SmackDown. Because I guess SmackDown's part of the universe.
He rules the earth, but only for 2 hours on Friday nights.
I'm like, fuck, the damn thing is back on its feet, Cole says. Not the damn, it's Bray Wyatt. Who does he think I am? Paisley? Paisley definitely thought that it was a thing, okay? Yeah. But she's 3, and she ain't your prime demo.
She's 47 years short of their target audience.
Yeah, think about that.
Yeah. So, as noted, the first portion of this match is hideously dull.
I broke my swearing rule a lot right there.
It's Bray Wyatt playing slasher film monster, doing some stuff, standing there, laughing, cackling, shouting, "You'll remember me." There's not much to it.
Sure, shit will.
And it's all
That's
under this
for sure.
damn red light.
I'm not going to forget The Fiend, no matter how long I live.
And finally, Bryan starts his comeback. And his comeback is awesome. And the key to it is, this crowd wants to cheer him so bad. And they want him to do the yes chant so bad. And he's tempted to. He's looking at his fingers. He's doing the yes kicks, because that's just offense. And the crowd's chanting along to it. And they're going crazy. And finally, he goes to the corner, and he's looking at his fingers, and he just goes, yes, yes, and the place goes crazy. It's all they've ever wanted for like 2 years now. And he hits the big knee strike, and it's just a near fall, and that thing kicks out.
The announcers are telling us throughout this match that The Fiend is unbeatable. I'm like, so what am I even watching for? And sure enough, he was unbeatable.
He gets the mandible claw once, but Daniel Bryan's able to turn it into an armbar in the ropes. But shortly thereafter, he gets the mandible claw again, and Bryan cannot escape twice, and he is pinned. I thought by the end this was an excellent match.
An excellent match?
Yes, by the end.
I gave it a 1 3/4.
Really?
Yes.
You hated the boring part a lot more than I did.
I could not call this an excellent match.
A blonde woman interviews Rey Mysterio, who has grown a beard. It looks about 500 years old. He says, it has been 15 years since the first time he fought Brock Lesnar, but some things never change. But this is a new Rey Mysterio. He thought about hanging up his mask and retiring, but he did not for the love of his son, Dominic. And ordinarily, he would tell Dominic to turn away, but tonight he wants Dominic to watch. At this point, Rey Mysterio, of all people, is the one guy who's allowed to look into the camera when he's doing a promo. I want Dominic to see me swinging this lead pipe at Brock's legs. I want to see my son as I massacre Brock Lesnar and take his championship. This was great. The men's 5-on-5 Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT Survivor Series match.
This was better than the women's match, but it was very unwieldy in spots.
Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton and Kevin Owens and Ricochet versus Roman Reigns and King Corbin and Shorty G and Ali and Braun Strowman versus Tommaso Ciampa and Matt Riddle and Damian Priest and Keith Lee, and the one guy who got the loudest reaction coming out by far, Walter. Because Walter is great.
I was watching this match, and it was like, when I can figure out every elimination coming because of the heat that it will generate, you're doing something wrong.
So Walter is getting all these chants. The announcers tell me that NXT have proven themselves to be a united unit or united team, whatever they said. Wasn't this team just announced on Twitter this afternoon?
Yes.
Okay. So crowd's going crazy for Walter. He's standing up to Braun Strowman. He's suplexing Drew McIntyre. He's awesome. And then Drew McIntyre kicks him and pins him in 2 minutes.
Yep. They got rid of the most over guy in the match immediately. Now, granted, going in, you didn't know that he was going to be the most over guy in the match. But he's fucking Walter. Why in God's name are you getting rid of him 2 minutes in?
The crowd boos. They all chant bullshit. We get a Chad Gable-Matt Riddle confrontation. It's awesome. The crowd knows it's awesome, and as they're explaining the credentials of these two men, the announcers tell us that Shorty G was an Olympic athlete.
Yes.
Because they can't tell us he was an Olympic wrestler.
Yes. Words banned.
I hate the show.
Oh,
so,
you think you hate this show. When Chad Gable was in there looking absolutely awesome, like the best wrestler on the roster, I knew immediately he's next to go.
Of course.
I tweeted it, and 30 seconds later, he gets eliminated.
So Shorty G and somebody else were down, and Owens had to pick one to Frog Splash. He did pick Shorty G and pinned him in 6 minutes.
Yes.
1 minute later, Tommaso Ciampa pins Owens with a draping DDT. Everyone is
Keep in mind, Kevin Owens, when he debuted on the NXT show last night, got the biggest pop of anybody on the show.
Yeah.
He's the most over guy they had on the entire TakeOver show, and they just pin him.
Damian Priest has done nothing in this match. He tags him with Randy Orton. Randy Orton pins him with the RKO like the biggest geek in the world.
Now, I realize, by the way, that they were on different teams, and I realized that on this show it was every team for himself. But the storyline was Tommaso Ciampa personally selected Kevin Owens to be his mystery fifth guy on the TakeOver team. He called him, and he personally asked him to be that man. 24 hours later, he's the guy that pins Kevin Owens with a draping DDT. It just tells me that all of this is bullshit.
Yeah. I'll just read this part here. Orton pins Priest with RKO like a geek at 10 minutes. Riddle pins Orton with Schoolboy at 10 minutes. Corbin pins Riddle after RKO at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This is what
so what happened was...
It doesn't matter.
They gave Matt Riddle a pin over Randy Orton, one of their biggest stars, something that could actually help make a guy. And the moment he gets the pin and celebrates, Matt Riddle is immediately pinned. Because, of course he is, by Baron Corbin.
Yeah. Strowman does a spot where he runs around the ringside throwing blocks at everybody, and the camera... He hit 4 big running shoulder blocks, and the camera did not get a good shot of any of them.
Yes, he runs too fast.
I hadn't thought of that. That's true. And he tried it again, but Keith Lee was there to throw a massive body block at him, and they collide like asteroids and both went down. That was actually good foreshadowing on their part. So as they're outside, apparently Drew McIntyre kicked Braun Strowman. I was certain at that point they were on the same team. Apparently they were not. And Braun Strowman was counted out. King Corbin pins Ricochet. Ali tags in. Ali is from Chicago. He came out waving the Chicago flag. This crowd loves Ali, and Seth Rollins pinned him with a curb stomp in 16 minutes, and everyone booed. So
Chicago,
now,
baby.
Everyone who has been cheered in this match, Walter's gone. Riddle is gone. Ali is gone. Owens is gone. So now, of course, the crowd chants for CM Punk, because why wouldn't they? Everyone they wanted cheers out of the match. 1 minute later, Reigns pins Drew with a spear. 2 minutes later, Ciampa pins Corbin. After Reigns turned on Corbin and Ciampa pinned him. Now there's all serious skipping and jumping back and forth. It's like watching Matt Hardy's entrance when he first turned heel in like 2002. Rollins pins Ciampa with a curb stomp. He's popular. Gotta get him pinned. So it's down now to one man from each team. Seth Rollins, the man you would have expected from Raw. Roman Reigns, the man you would have expected from SmackDown. And Keith Lee, the man who you may not have expected from NXT, but you should have, because after all, Brian, he's big. So if one guy from NXT was going to be made to look like a hero, it would have been Keith Lee. And in fact, he's fighting back against both men. He's winning against both men. He pins Seth Rollins with his fireman's carry slam. And then goes one-on-one back and forth in an even fight with Roman Reigns for 3 minutes until finally Roman pins him with his spear. And afterwards, Keith actually bows to Roman like they're in a dojo. And Roman extends a fist bump and they bump fists. And so they tried. They tried to make...
Well, I'll tell you why.
Keith Lee look like a star because he's big.
Vince loves Keith Lee.
Yes.
Vince was in the back on the headsets giving Keith Lee a standing ovation. He loves this man.
Who wouldn't?
Now, well, you know what's funny? There's some things... Listen, Vince needs to go, okay?
You don't say.
He needs to go. But there are certain things that he likes.
Big people.
Big dudes,
Yeah.
okay? And listen, I love Keith Lee. And what's funny is, do you remember when Keith Lee debuted in NXT? And he was there for months and months and months, and he really wasn't doing jack shit.
He did nothing for a long time.
And I was like, why aren't they doing anything with Keith Lee? Well, lo and behold, Vince gets his hands on the guy, and in 2 weeks, like, Keith Lee is over.
Yeah.
He got this guy over.
Well, Vince always knows how to get big men over.
Because apparently Vince saw something in Keith Lee that Triple H did not. I can't say that Triple H didn't see anything in Keith Lee, but like Triple H did not have Keith Lee at the top of his list.
No.
Vince has Keith Lee at the top of his list.
The list is one name long. And the name reads Lee, Keith.
But you know what? Keith Lee is awesome. I love Keith Lee.
He's great. I've been a huge fan of Keith Lee since the first time I laid eyes on him.
Now, I wish that Vince saw the same thing in guys like Matt Riddle.
Adam Cole, Tommaso Ciampa.
I think he sees something in Adam Cole.
There's a bunch of great guys.
He gave Adam Cole a clean win over Daniel Bryan on SmackDown.
That's fair.
So, Adam Cole, here's the thing. Adam Cole is miles better than Keith Lee. I love Keith Lee, okay? But he's small.
He is.
And so the fact of the matter is, he's going to have a much tougher time than Keith Lee is going to have. So that's just the way things go. This is great.
So Keith Lee has been compared before to Bam Bam Bigelow. Man of similar size.
He is much better than Bam Bam
I realize
Bigelow.
this, but they have similar physical attributes.
Yes.
They're both big men. They're thick men, but they move like much smaller men. And Bam Bam, the peak of his career was obviously Lawrence Taylor at WrestleMania, but his first big WWF moment was at Survivor Series when he was down 3-1 and came back and almost beat Andre the Giant. And he got over in defeat. And I had flashbacks. This is the same feeling here.
And hey, the other thing I noted was Seth Rollins got the old Roman Reigns treatment. Everything he did got booed.
Yes.
And when it came down to Roman Reigns and Keith Lee, I was certain that Roman Reigns was beating Keith Lee and the old Roman Reigns reaction would get back. And granted, there were boos, but it seems to me, especially this is Chicago, I think the fans are finally past that.
Yes.
He may not be their favorite guy necessarily, but they like and respect Roman Reigns. And if there was ever a time where he was going to get the old Roman Reigns reaction, it was this show. But luckily for him, Seth Rollins is around. He's the new Roman Reigns.
Yes. Becky Lynch cuts a promo hyping up the main event from a spa somewhere, as far as I could tell. There's fancy stonework walls around her, and she's echoing badly. Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar in a no-holds-barred match for the WWE title.
Love this.
So I love this, too.
I love this.
So I know the Joker is out right now and popular, but I don't think the clown look was the best one for Rey Mysterio on this show.
He wasn't the Joker, he was Doink.
Joker, Doink, Psycho Clown, regardless. So it's Rey Mysterio and Brock Lesnar. Rey has one chance. It's his pipe. If he can hit Brock Lesnar with this big, heavy object, maybe he can beat him. So he starts the match with the pipe in his hands. It's not hanging on a pole. It's not down the aisle. It's not under the ring. He's going into war with a weapon. And very briefly, it's Rey Mysterio chasing Brock Lesnar with his pipe. I do say stress very briefly because Brock cut him off immediately, but that's the whole plan. So Brock is destroying him for a while. It's wonderful and glorious. Brock is obviously a monster, and Rey is very, very small. And Brock suplexes just had that much extra oomph on them tonight, and they look great. And every time Rey has a glimmer of hope, just the slightest opening, the momentary chance to breathe, he is scrambling like crazy to get to that damn pipe. And every time Brock cuts him off. Until finally Rey is just done, and Brock knows it. And he suplexes Rey onto the pipe. And then kicks the pipe over. And Brock Lesnar, as big and scary and terrifying and monstrous as he is, his voice is high-pitched and really very friendly. And he kicks this pipe over to Rey and shouts out, "Here it is, buddy! The friendliest farmer you ever heard." So then Dominic runs in with a towel. He can take no more of seeing his father destroyed and is going to throw in the towel to save his father. Now, I had what I thought was a brilliant idea. This should have been a trap. This towel should have been soaked in ether. And Dominic should have tried to smother Brock.
That's actually a damn good... Well, then Brock grabs it, but he ethers himself.
Or that.
Although, how does a kid bring down the ether-soaked rag and it doesn't affect him? That's a Vince Russo storyline. And when the ether only affects one guy, you got a problem.
I hadn't thought of that. You got a point.
Well, maybe there's a bottle of ether in the deal, and Brock is so powerful that when he grabs it, he breaks the bottle.
Shatters everywhere.
And ether starts flying all over.
There's things they could have done here.
Sure.
What they did was have just Brock throw the towel away, so now, of course, Dominic can't throw it in. And so this did still distract Brock. And so we had a Mysterio father and son double team this man's testicles to death flurry. And they hit him in the balls over and over and over again. They hit him with a pipe. They hit him with a chair. He's in the ropes. Father and son, in what I can only imagine was one of the great moments of Rey Mysterio's career, hit a double 619, a 1238, I believe. They go up top. They hit a pair of frog splashes. They dogpile Brock. The ref is counting. Brock still kicks out because I think together they still weigh less than he does. And they go up top again, but Brock suplexes Dominic down and hits Rey with an F5 and pins him. A tremendous match.
I love this match. I love Brock Lesnar matches. Rey Mysterio is the best babyface. He's the best babyface promo they've got by leaps and bounds. He's so good. Dominic in there. Like, there's someone on the board that was cutting this down. They may not have been cutting it down, but they were pointing out that. So the storyline is Brock beats up Rey. Brock beats up Rey's son. Rey brings in Mercenary. Brock beats up Mercenary. Rey challenges him to match. Brock beats up Rey and son.
Yeah.
That is what happened.
He is a monster.
Well, here's the key. Listen, Rey's not beating Brock.
No.
Okay? You want to do a storyline with Rey and Brock Lesnar, and the parameters are, one way or the other in the end, Brock's winning. Rey's not winning the title. You can just have a boring nothing happened in series, or you can book something where, yes, all of those things happened. But Brock is the unbeatable monster. And by the way, there's another unbeatable monster, The Fiend, and I presume at some point that's the big match they're building to. Brock versus The Fiend. I can't wait till Brock hears there's going to be red light on his match. But anyway, point of this is, I love this match. I thought it was great. The Brock's matches have the best stories. They're just such simple stories. Big bully, little babyface. Babyface tries his best, fails. But he went down in flames. I loved it.
Yes.
I loved it.
And the other thing about this is, it really goes to the theme of this whole show, which very much felt like it all felt like new stuff. This was not a cookie cutter WWE match. Now, Brock's matches never are, to be fair. They're always different. He's the one guy who's allowed to actually go out and be creative. But it stood out, and it was something new I had not seen before. So, giant thumbs up for these two.
And as far as, like, two people losing to Brock, it's like, it's Rey and his kid. Like, the storyline is his son is training.
Yeah.
But he's not, like, a wrestler.
No.
His son is just his son.
This is not The Undertaker beating Edge and Christian in the year 2000.
No. This is not the tag team champions losing to Roman Reigns or whoever.
This is a guy who, frankly, is on his way down the hill. I meant Rey looks 500 years old with this beard.
Well, he's not.
He's got a grown man son. He's not at the peak of his career. He's approaching the twilight. So, as much as that match was not a standard WWE match, the main event of Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler versus Bayley was.
Very much like the men's three-way. Every WWE trope for three-way you've ever seen.
There's three people in the ring doing random moves, but not random enough where it felt organic. It felt like they had a plan and a game plan and a script and dots to connect, but it was no fun watching it. It's very boring.
Crowd's totally dead.
There's no heat. You can hear one guy shouting boring. Beth praises Shayna's work rate at one point. Becky clears the ring and the match just starts over, and she's circling with Shayna like they've been going 30 seconds. The crowd's chanting for Punk again. And then finally, something happens. Shayna starts to take over, and she's getting submission on one woman. She's getting a submission on the other woman. She's taking them apart inside the ring. She's taking them apart outside the ring. She power bombs Becky on the table, which takes Becky out of the match. Shayna and Bayley both realize that with Becky out of the match, they now have a chance to beat the other and win without the third party breaking it up. They're frantically trying to finish. Bayley hits the belly to Bayley, but Shayna kicks out. Shayna keeps going for the Karafuda clutch, but Bayley escapes. And finally, Bayley goes up top, goes with a big diving elbow, but Shayna catches her in the clutch, and after a brief struggle, Bayley taps out. The finish was good.
Yeah, it was an okay match. I was definitely not blown away by it. The whole key to the deal was going into it, Raw had 1 point, NXT had 3, SmackDown had 2.
Yes.
And so the whole key to this match was, if SmackDown wins, they tie with NXT. If Raw wins, at least they tie for second. Instead, NXT won. So it was 4 for NXT, 2 for SmackDown, 1 for Raw. They destroyed the main roster.
It did.
Because the fact of the matter is, Vince is sick of losing on Wednesdays.
Well,
And the show and the last several weeks of television were designed to get over NXT, to put them on the level of the other 2 rosters, so that on Wednesday nights, it's not just developmental in Full Sail.
except they couldn't even do it right because Rhea couldn't just beat Sasha and pin her. She had to have her friends run out and help. Roddy couldn't just pin Shinsuke Nakamura. He needed AJ to move so Roddy could steal it.
Yes.
The only guy who was put over really strong from NXT is Adam Cole, I guess, because one of those guys had to, and Keith Lee.
You're right, but this is WWE, and they have 2 shows on USA and 1 show on Fox. And so to get NXT 4 wins, you've got to give it out to Fox and Raw on the USA Network. There has to be an out for them to explain why this happened, why this happened, why this happened. Yes, in a perfect world, if you want NXT to get over, then you put them over. They half-ass put them over here.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, what matters to them is the score NXT 4, SmackDown 2, and Raw 1. So after winning every single solitary match last year, except the pre-show, which SmackDown won, Raw gets 1 point this year, SmackDown beats them, and then NXT beats both of them. By the way, the pre-show counted this year, even though it didn't count last year, for those of you keeping track.
People let me know that, like I care about these scorekeeping rules on Survivor Series.
Well, the rules always change.
Well, that's true.
And by the way, speaking of rules changing, how come Braun Strowman got counted out in a 3-way? I thought there were no countouts in a 3-way.
That's true.
He got counted out.
I don't know.
Well, the rules are, everybody, what the rules are on any given day. And those were the rules. All right, we're out of time. We're going to be back on Tuesday with Retro Raw Nitro 19 years ago this week. And Rob's going to eat something, apparently. And I'll be back later on tonight with Dave. It appears we will not have a show on Thanksgiving. We'll probably do the Thursday night show on Friday again, even though that's weird. We'll do our best. And other than that, most shows will be on as scheduled. And that's it, everybody. Check it out. We'll talk to you again after a while.
Adios.